One source, a million names. Let me tell you a secret everybody knows, but most of us are too scared to say out loud. It's all the same God. Not a copy, not a cousin, not a rival brand on the spiritual supermarket shelf. The same exact source. Call it God, call it Allah, call it Yahweh, call it Krishna, Great Spirit, the universe, the field, the simulation. Call it something more. When you stare at the stars and feel like crying for reasons you can't explain, different names, different customs and costumes, same light. We've been fighting over logos on the same sunlight like idiots arguing at dawn. I own the sunrise. My grandfather trademarked the sky. Come on. Come on. You know this in your bones. You tasted it in the quiet when nobody's selling you anything, when the room is dark and your heart is loud, and you feel a presence that doesn't care what team you're on. That's the one I'm talking about. Somewhere along the way, we took that infinite, formless love and turned it into a product line. We turned temples into toll booths, altars into cash registers, mystics into mascots. And we said, step right up, step right up. Only our way is the way. Only our book is the book. Only our prophet has the blue check mark from God. We turned eternity into a subscription service. We told people, you are born broken. You're fundamentally wrong. But don't worry. For 3 easy payments of obedience, guilt, and tithes, we can maybe get you approved for salvation. We built empires on your insecurities. We sold you unworthiness and then offered to buy it back at a markup. And because you were scared and hurting and human, you believed us. Of course you did. When a child is lost in the dark, they'll follow any voice that sounds like it knows the way. But I'm here to tell you, the light was never behind their paywall. Listen, before the first religion had a name, before anyone drew a border on a map or printed a sacred logo on a flag, there was just awareness. There was this whatever. This is watching itself unfold. No churches, no mosques, no synagogues, no temples, no scriptures, no denominations, no us and them. Just one thing playing all the roles. The source didn't, the original source did not wake up one morning and say, you know what I need? Brand identity. That's us. That's humans. We're the ones who turned infinite mystery into bullet point statements of faith. We're the ones who built VIP sections where we pretend some souls are on the guest list and the rest are on the street. But the truth never signed that contract. Every prophet was a window, not a wall, not a fortress, a window. Moses was a window, Jesus was a window, Muhammad was a window, Buddha, Krishna, Lao Tzu, your grandma who held your face when you were sobbing and whispered, you are loved, into your hair. All are windows. Light came through them to reach you. But we took the windows, framed them in gold, put velvet ropes around them, built an institution around the frame, and forgot to look at the light itself. We said, don't you dare look out to any other window. Don't you dare open your own curtains. The window, this window, only, or you're out. This book only, you're out. Don't take anybody else's word for it. Take our word for it. We made a business out of bottling the ocean. We turned messengers into monopolies. We protected the brand instead of living the message. And what was that message? It was never worship me. It was always remember you. Worship me, follow me. Worship me is not follow me. Follow me is not worship me. Remember you. Remember you are, what you are, who you are. Remember where you came from. Remember the light behind your eyes is the same light behind theirs. Love God, love your neighbor, love your enemy, love the stranger, love yourself. It is all you. All the different scriptures just remix this one song. We are one. Live like it. Do justice, love mercy, walk humbly, forgive, share, care for the poor, free the oppressed, tell the truth. Stop hurting each other. Stop pretending you're separate from the source and separate from each other. That's it. That's the whole curriculum. But that message doesn't sell well. Doesn't sell well as fear does. Fear is a gold mine. Fear signs checks. Fear fills seats. Fears builds towers. So we added the fine print. Yes, yes, love one another, sure, but only if they believe like you, only if they pray like you, only if they call God by the name you like. Otherwise, they're a threat, they're a heretic, they're an infidel. They're a problem to be fixed, or a soul to be farmed, or framed, or a conversion statistic. We twisted love into leverage. We turned heaven into a loyalty program. And then we dare to ask, why is the world on fire? Here's the truth. No one on a podium wants you to remember. You can't own God. You can't franchise infinity. You can't copyright the sky. You can't trademark the beating of a human heart when it finally feels seen. God is not a product. God is the power that makes products possible. God is the electricity in every lamp, the Wi-Fi inside every device, the signal behind the screens. Every religion is just a different app trying to connect to the same network. The problems start when the app says no other apps are allowed. Delete everything else or you are damned. Are you kidding? That's not divinity. That's marketing. So, sorry. How do we change this? How do we plant the idea not as a slogan, but as a living realization that it's all the same God, the same source, the same field, the same vast loving intelligence wearing 7 billion, 8 billion faces? We don't do it by screaming. We don't do it by building another religion and calling it no religion. We don't need another flag. We do it by becoming the proof, by walking into rooms and becoming the kind of presence that makes people say, I don't know what they believe, but whatever it is, it feels like home. You want to convince the world it's all the same God? Start acting like every person you meet is a different angle of God's face. Treat the cashier like God in a name tag. Treat the driver like God behind the steering wheel. Treat the difficult family member like God trying on your patience as a workout for your compassion. Talk to the janitor and the CEO like they're made of the same light, because they are. Let your life preach the sermon your mouth could never finish. When people ask, what are you? You can smile and say, I'm a fragment. of the one pretending to be me. What are you? Yes, there has been manipulation. Yes, there has been control. Yes, there have been wars fought with holy words dripping from unholy mouths. We have built systems that profit from your fear of death, your fear of punishment, your fear of being alone in a silent universe. We have weaponized the holy books. We have used God as a mask to hide human greed. Let's call it what it is. But don't stop there, because if you only see the corruption, you miss the miracle. The miracle is the message survived the mess. Love still gets through, like light sneaking under a locked door. It finds you. In the middle of dogma, you'll hear the line that breaks you open. In the middle of control, you'll feel a presence that makes you free. Why? Because the source is stubborn. Because the one we're all pointing to does not abandon its own reflection. And let me say it plainly. You are not outside God trying to get in. You are not a customer begging for a refund on your sins. You are a branch of the same tree, a wave in the same ocean, an avatar in the same simulation. The, the distance you feel between you and the divine is a story, not a fact. And religions were supposed to be maps back to that realization, not border walls, maps. But somewhere along the line, we started worshiping the map and ignoring the territory. We said, my map is holier than your map, while the territory, the living presence, the actual felt reality of love, sat in the middle of the room, waiting for someone to look up. You want to wake up the world? Tell them. Stop confusing the map with the mountain. Walk, climb, experience, meditate, pray, serve, love, be still, be honest, be kind. Then see what meets you in the silence. When they taste it, really taste it, they'll know. Oh, it was never about the labels. It was always about this. Imagine this: a Muslim woman, a Christian man, a Buddhist monk, an atheist engineer, a Hindu grandmother, and a kid who doesn't know what to believe yet are all sitting in a circle. No one's allowed to quote their book. No one's allowed to recruit. They're only allowed to ask one question. When have you felt most held by something bigger than you? Not what do you call it, not what rules did it gives you, just when did you feel it? Suddenly the stories start to sound the same. I was in a hospital and I thought I was going to die, and then this peace came over me. I was at the ocean, and for a moment, I disappeared into the waves, and everything felt perfect. I was praying, and I felt a warmth in my chest like something was hugging me from the inside. I don't believe in God. And when my child was born, something holy walked into the room, and everything changed. Different vocabularies, same presence. Same gentle, overwhelming something touching each of them with the same tenderness. That's the one I'm talking about. Not the one on the pamphlets, the one beneath the skin of your life. So let's be real. This message is dangerous to any system that profits from division. If people start believing that it's all the same God, what happens? You can't weaponize God against the other side if you know the other side is just God wearing a different costume. You can't manipulate people with fear if they know the source is not a tyrant, but a core of their own being. You can't change admission to heaven if people realize they never left. So, yes, there will be pushback. Yes, some will call it heresy. Some will say, you're diluting the truth. But the truth does not get diluted by including more people in it. Love doesn't become less pure because it loves more fiercely. The light doesn't become weaker because it shines through more windows. If your version of God gets threatened because someone else calls the same presence by a different name, maybe it's not God you're defending. Maybe it's your ego. This is a revolution, not burning down churches, but opening the doors wider, not mocking people's faith, but deepening it until it includes the whole world, not tearing up scriptures, but reading them with new eyes. Where is the thread of love here? Where where is the call to compassion here? Where is the invitation to oneness here? Keep that, amplify that, live that. Everything else, optional. The revolution is not anti religion, the revolution is pre religion. It's older than all of this. It's the original knowing that whispered to the first human who ever looked at the stars and felt small and huge at the same time. You are not alone. You never were. You are part of me. Everyone else is too. We are in a grand experiment, not a lab of punishment, but a playground of possibilities. What happens when infinite love forgets itself just enough to play at being you and me? What happens when the one splits into billions of perspectives and says, okay, let's see what happens when I think I'm separate. Let's see what happens when I grow, when I hurt, when I heal, when I destroy and then remember that I am also the one I destroyed. This is not God watching from far away with a clipboard. This is God in the game, feeling your heartbreak from the inside, learning forgiveness through your tears, discovering courage through your risks. We are the experiment, and the experiment is this. Can love remember itself inside the illusion of division? Every time you choose compassion over cruelty, you are helping the experiment succeed. Every time you see yourself in the person you want to hate, you are nudging the timeline towards awakening. Every time you say, I don't care what you call it, I don't care how you treat people, you are midwifing a new world. So here's the invitation. Not another religion, not another brand, not another ism. Just this. Live like it's all the same God. Live like every sincere prayer, no matter the language, goes into the same box. Live like every child is a sacred story just starting. Live like every elder is a library that shouldn't be burned. Live like the earth itself is a temple floor and your footsteps are a form of worship. When you stand in a church and the choir sings and you feel chills, that's it. When you sit in a mosque and the call to prayer wraps around you like a mother's hands, that's it. When you are alone in your room with no rituals, no words, and you break down and say, I can't do this. And something inside you whispers, yes, you can. I'm here. That's it. Same presence, same love, same source, same God, different doorways, different dialects of the same silence. To the leaders who built their thrones on our fear, your time is ending. To the people who are taught to hate in God's name, you are forgiven, but the story is changing. To the ones who thought they were alone, you never were. To the ones who left religion because of the abuse, but still miss God in the quiet, you don't have to choose. The source is not the system. To every soul listening to this, I'm not asking you to abandon your path. I'm asking you to walk it so deeply that you end up at the same center everyone else is headed toward. Keep your songs, keep your symbols, keep your stories. Let them be what they were always meant to be, fingers pointing at the moon, not cages locking in the sky. And when someone asks you, so which God do you believe in? You can look at them in the eye and say, the same one you do. I just stop pretending. It only speaks my language. It's all the same God. It always has been the same God. And now finally, we're ready to live like it. Go in love and peace, my friends. Take care.